guys, you're here live with MVI. Happy Friday, everybody. We're in a 2019 Ram, and we are in a different truck today. I told you I was going to take you from the 8-inch to the 12-inch, so we're going to do that today for a customer and get you some footage of it. So as you can see, we've got the basic setup. This one does have the auto HVAC, and then that's pretty much heated wheel, but no other bells and whistles, heated seats and whatnot. No navigation, but it is the 8-inch with the CarPlay features in it. And we are going to take this one up to the 12-inch with the nav. So I'll get going and show you how this goes. So as you know, we supply a complete kit, and it will come with everything needed. If you happen to get some of your own parts, you are going to need additional stuff for the programming and whatnot. We can help you with that. So just reach out to us. Happy to help however you got it. So to start, this is ridiculously easy to get this screen out. So sometimes there's no Phillips, and other times it's just 7. This one has the Phillips, literally just 2 screws to take out. This one does have limited room to put a drill, so doing it by hand is usually just the easier way to go. And I apologize, we've got some construction going on around us today, so it's going to be a little bit louder. Go ahead and get that out. So now that these are out, just one way to get this out, and that is to pull it. It sounds violent, but there are some very strong clips that hold this thing together, and this guy comes right out. So from here, we've got some standard plugs to get out. This first one is usually the tightest. It's the XM FACRA. So biggest challenge is getting into where you can actually work on it. But then with the pick, we can then get a little bit more room to work. Yeah, that one's challenging. It's really just a matter of getting all these unplugged, guys. Just like that. Get it to where you can actually work with it. Now, this guy will just set aside. However, we do need to this transfers over to the new 12-inch screen, which is right there. So as you can see at the bottom, there's a place for that to transfer right in. So you've got 2 T15s right down here. A little bit more challenging in the truck, but then it's got some clips that hold it in place. So you're just basically gonna do that number there. Okay. Pops right out. And a lot of my kits will come with this in it. If it gets forgotten, you can transfer it. And this one I am going to get outside the door here. We're going to have some dinging going on. I apologize. Maybe not good. So the trick to these guys is you can see these little ears right here. These have to be pried up. There's one on here and one over here. So it's a little bit tricky, but if you do that number while pressing, this pushes through. Okay. Then this has some additional ears, but you got to get that metal part through first. So there we go. And this is all keyed, so you can't really mess it up, and it'll slide right back in place. So that said, I'll get this set out of the way. Now, new radio goes in. This guy came off because these manufacturers and their overthinking of design sometimes is crazy. But so that'll go back after we transfer that that plug back in, and then so let me go ahead and do that now for you. Just like that, back into place. And then this guy, nice and easy. Not much to it. Click it in. And of course we've got the two T15s. Just like that, guys. Okay, well, this we can kind of just set aside for now. Now radio will go back in, but as you can see, there's no, comes with a new radio brain. This will be supplied by us. No way to attach to the dash. So in our kit also comes the hardware to allow that to happen. So got some inserts here. Now, radio may have a code written on it. This one doesn't because I know what the code is, but most of these radios will need a code before they're going to go in and work in your vehicle. Some will fire right up, depending on how it's shipped out. So, FYI, if you see a code written on here in Sharpie, it's a 4-digit code. Anywhere on here, you're going to need that. So, pay attention to that. Now, got new screen cable, and then there is also this guy that we supply. Now, this is your Wi-Fi antenna, guys, so system is Wi-Fi capable. Now, the trick here is, though, this is a service that's done through Mopar. So you got to get Mopar to turn that on. I am working on trying to figure out a nice procedure to make that happen, but it's a lot like OnStar is on GM. And so they see your truck built with certain equipment, and they're going to tell you you can't turn that on. So it's going to take some fighting with them basically to make that happen. So that's not something we can offer. That is something you're going to have to get worked out with Mopar to get turned on. But when we get this thing fired up, I can show you kind of where to go for that. If you want the Wi-Fi, it is a paid subscription, and you are going to have to get them to turn it on. So with that said, this is the antenna. Now, if you want to take the time to get it out here in the open where it's nice and easy, that would probably be the best ideal spot. And then route this down. What most guys do, not go through all that, is just stick it up here on the dash. I've seen it put here quite a lot of times. Just stick it right there and call it a day. I like to get it to as far to the top of the dash as possible, but nothing directly over it. So a lot of times on top of an air vent is actually the best place for it. So this will actually stick right there quite nicely, and then route down and plug in. If I were doing this and I was going to be in my own truck and I was planning on subscribing to Wi-Fi, I would personally get it right here, and then this will tuck right up here in the edge. You can see this is a nice stick, so just clean that, heat it, that'll stick, it won't come off, and then your headliner guys will just pull down and you can kind of tuck it just like this all the way over. I would be taking this off. You've got a panel here with some tins. Route this down and through the dash. That's going to be the best pickup spot for it, just FYI. Food for thought. This customer I doubt will even want to deal with the Wi-Fi, but I'm going to do what everybody else does and just place it right up on the vent. So that's where it's going. Plug on right there. This guy always gets missed, forgotten about, so pay attention to that. So this will not plug in and run the new screen. You're gonna need our adaption right here. So we make these in-house, so if you need it, call us. Happy to fix you up. We have basically a programming and harnessing kit. We'll supply you with this guy, the Wi-Fi antenna, programming cables, the licensing software to program it, and then the software to run it. So kind of a complete little kit. And from there, a little bit hard to mess up, guys, at this point. Okay. And don't forget down here, plug right in. And then last but not least, this fun little guy. So at this point, you're going to want to see if we have screen. And at this point is where a code should come up if it's going to be required. So you're going to want to have that code noted down. We've got some lights down here, but nothing on the screen. We're dead there. Usually if you hit power, you're good to go. One other thing I'll mention, guys, is this customer actually supplied his own radio. So I didn't verify this radio prior to the install to verify that it's actually for the 12-inch. So I'm just assuming that it is, but I may find myself having to verify that here in a moment. So at this point, you should have an initial display to pop up. Go through the programming for you. We'll see if we can get it to come on at that time. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop right here. If you don't get the black screen, it's okay. If I send you the parts, it's gonna be guaranteed parts that are gonna be working for the truck. Like I said, this customer did supply his own parts, and I did not verify the actual radio part number. So I am going to do the programming, and we'll see what we get next. So it does require a laptop. It does require you to access what's called the security bypass module, which on the 1500s sits right up here. On the 2500s and up, it's going to sit behind the cluster. So if you've got a 2500, 3500, whatever, all the cluster has to come out, which requires some disassembly here. I do have some instructions on how to do that. It's not horrible, but it is some tear down. And then the gateway sits right up here, which I've got a picture where that sits. So, got to access the gateway, which sits right up here where the e-brake would be. So there's two plugs. I'm going to unplug those guys. I'm going to bring them down. And we're going to plug my cables in. Grab the laptop. All right, so I'm gonna get the software pulled up here. Now, it does require you to enter a license code. So the instructions will walk through all this. So I'm gonna see if I can just run through this real quick. And so you have to enter the code to make it all work. And then you gotta build your vehicle out. All right, then once you get it to go, the instructions will walk you through some stuff. The very first thing we want to do is a couple resets, just to kind of wake things up. So when I do that, you'll notice the gauges over here when I hit the reset. It's kind of how you know things are working. So I'm going to do it again. And there it goes. And it'll give you a procedure complete message. You want to make sure you see that consistently. I'm actually going to come over here. I'll do one more. And I got a procedure complete. That was actually the radio brain, which I'm still not seeing any action on, so I got a feeling this may be a problem, but I'm gonna go ahead and move forward with the rest of the programming and we'll go from there. So all right, and I am done with the programming, guys. So okay, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off, see if we get screen. I don't have much hope here. I think he might have the wrong radio. We're gonna find out. We got some lights up here now. So. Still no screen though, guys. So what I'm going to do next is what's called the battery reset. That is in the instructions. It takes about 20 minutes. While I'm doing that, I am going to verify this part number, and we'll go from there. So I'm not going to make you sit here and wait for 20 minutes. We will come back and start this back up. So I'll see you in here in about 25-30 minutes when I'm ready to fire this thing back up. All right, guys, we're back on this 2019 Ram, and I've gone through the procedures. So we're going to fire this thing off. And I did verify that radio was good, so we should be good to go. And fired right on up, so we are in good shape, aside from everything's in Spanish on me here. So the first thing you'll want to test is your volume knobs. Make sure they work, and as you saw, it was tuning, so we're in good shape there. Temperature controls, you want to test that. So we're going to go to climate. And we are basically jumping from high to low, so this usually is an indication that it needs to sync. I did skip that step in programming because the old one had the dual zone already on it, so I'm going to check that setting to verify, but this is something you want to test. Oh, you can see this one's actually going up like it should. So that's good, and now this one is as well. So as you can see, sometimes it just takes a few moments to sync. So you want to test the climate to make sure. It looks like we're doing good there. Fan speed you want to test. Everything. And I can feel the air switching like it's supposed to. So yeah, we're in good shape. So bring these down. So test your audio, both two knobs should be good to go there. And then camera doesn't always work right off the bat, guys, and I haven't tested this one yet. So as you can see, no camera. This is kind of normal. It takes I've seen it take up to 2 days to populate. I just went and did one for a customer mobile the other day, and had to leave just to let it populate and sit, and it took until that following Sunday when he came to pick it up for it was all working when he came to pick it up. So you want to check out that. So that will work after it sits. That will populate and come back. If not, there's additional steps we have to take, which we walk you through all that. I have yet to have one not get working, so it does take some back and forth sometimes, but we do always get them working. So those are the things to watch out for. Again, with our services, when you purchase through us, you get all that help. Lots of ins and outs on this, especially those part numbers and everything else. So with that said, when you do supply your own parts, I do always verify ahead of time. I know I didn't on this one, should have, but I will ask you for those pictures so I can verify you've got the correct part numbers, so we don't get into a situation like we had, and got to have the right part numbers for everything to work correctly, guys. So check all your switches, hazards are working, we're all good. This truck didn't have these features, so these buttons will just do nothing. They're just going to be dead. So aside from the camera, we're all good. We're going to go roll out and check the nav, see if it'll pick up for us, and then I'm going to show you one other cool little feature here. So we'll go ahead and get her right on back outside. We are nice and sunny here in Colorado today, so the glare may get a little bit crazy, but I'm going to go ahead and switch it to nav, and boom, we picked right up. So full navigation features now. And then I told you about the UConnect. So the Wi-Fi is something you have to subscribe to through UConnect itself, and that'll be right here. And it tells you you need to subscribe to it, and that will take you calling them and whatnot. So I don't know how to read Spanish, but this would normally walk you through it all. It does require UConnect to actually turn it on and activate it for you guys. So again, I plan to play with that here in the near future, but as of right now, I don't have any information on how to get that actually working. In theory, it does work, but it requires a service to be turned on through UConnect. So with all that said, I want to show you one other cool little feature here we can add for you guys. So we've got a what we call the portal. This is the 2.5 plus on the website. This will take just a second to fire up. Plugs into your Apple CarPlay port and runs on that. And it will give you some additional cool little features and benefits. Once it fires up here, I'll show you what it does. Got more of these coming. Currently we're out of stock. Part shortages do have us crippled as well on a lot of stuff. As you can see, it's firing up. I do have more coming. So it wants to calibrate here, restart. So I'm going to unplug and plug back in. One second, this will fire back up, and I'll show you some cool stuff we can do with this little piece as well. So cool little addition to this. This piece that I'm about to show you will work on the 8-inch UAM and up. So it doesn't have to have navigation, do have to have the 8-inch, does have to have CarPlay, and it'll work. So it works on the 12-inch, the 8-inch nav, and then the 8-inch non-nav as well. But once it fires up, you got all kinds of cool little new apps here to play with. As you can see, Netflix is one of them. So you can go in and play your Netflix stuff. Do have to have Wi-Fi, obviously, to connect and stream video, but this gets you the video in the truck right here on the screen, and full control on Netflix, just as though you had it in your TV, which is pretty cool. Select it, just hit go. I heard the audio switch, so I don't have, kind of see it going here. So
Previously on
pretty cool stuff. So all your apps, you can go right to the Google Store itself and download apps right from the Play Store. So any of your favorite video apps we can play. It does have the ability to mirror your phone as well on this guy, so I'll show you that here in a second. Use Waze and or Google Maps in here, and then it's also got a cool little map. So this here, I'll show you, is actually, you can see we got Hulu on there. This is actually the same exact company that makes the GM mapping. So let's see here, cancel route, delete. I forget how to. Okay, now we got the mapping. So you can see very similar actually to the factory mapping. It's got us picked up. So if we go back to the factory mapping, get this off. Sorry guys, killing me. So check out that screen, and then we go back to that screen, pretty darn close and similar. So that's pretty cool. You are gonna have to run it on this. So with that said, if you don't like the factory mapping, you've got the other options in there, Google and Waze, right here on the screen without using your phone. You do this, so this mapping here does run on, it's got its own GPS antenna, so it's picking up signal, no Wi-Fi required. Google and Waze will require a Wi-Fi connection to run them. This piece also does have a data card slot as well, so if you want to pick up a card from your cell phone provider, you can run data on it. I have two versions of that, one without and one with, so you'll have to specify if you want that. And what else was I going to show you here? One other cool thing I will show you that makes this all worthwhile, besides mirroring your phone. There's a pairing process you got to go through, but as you can see, my phone is out right now. We'll see if this actually... And I've got wireless CarPlay going on here, guys. So add wireless CarPlay through this same little guy. It gives you that feature along with all the video apps, additional navigation apps, pretty much all your entertainment right at your fingertips, guys. So pretty cool stuff as usual. Interested in any of this stuff, give us a ring. Happy to help, and we appreciate the business. Take care.